subject science. Today we are going to start with new chapter number 14, water. As you all know, light and water, they are the main source of life. If you don't have light or water, the living organisms living in this world is not going to survive. So the basic need for our living organisms is light and water. So in this chapter we are going to study about water. In the first part, how much water do we use? Each and every time we use water for everything, for cooking, for agriculture, everything we use water. So water is a basic necessity of our life. Then how much we use in a day-to-day life. Second thing, where do we get water from? Then what are the sources? We are using it and then we are going to find out what are the source of water. So we are going to study these two things in this part 1. In second part we are going to study about the water cycle. After understanding it, okay, how much water we are going to use and what is the source of water. So the source of water, from where the water comes, so it is a cycle rotation. The water cycle, in this part we are going to study about the disappearing trait of water, loss of water by plants, the plants which takes in water, so how they lose water, how our clouds form, and when there is a heat, so when the clouds are formed, then how they are formed, we are going to study about that. And then back to the oceans. So in the second part we are going to study how our clouds form till there, and in third part we are going to study all this thing back to the ocean. What if it rains heavily, and what happens if it does not rain for a long period? There is a scarcity over there of water in our day-to-day life, and how can we conserve water and rainwater harvesting. So in this part we are going to study about the basic needs of our living things, of our living organisms, is water. So suppose for some reason your family gets only 1 bucket of water every day for a week. Imagine what would happen. Imagine karo puri family ke liye you get a bucket of water for the whole day, for a whole week. How can you live without water? And how much water you will use? So there is a scarcity of water as we are saying in the municipality. If the municipality gives, there is a scarcity of rain and water scarcity, so the municipality stops the water and they will send it in a ocean. So how you consume your week without water, and that is only a bucket of water. Would you able to cook, clean utensils, wash clothes or bathe? You can't able to do with these things with only a bucket of water for the whole week. So what are the other activities you would not able to do? And what would happen if we do not have easy access to water for a long period of time? Each and every human being, easy access of water is there. As there is easy access of air in this surrounding, so nature has given us air, that is oxygen. It is an easy access. There is a free access also. And water is an easy access for our human beings. So apart from drinking, there are so many activities for which we use water. Drinking हम लोग पानी पीते हैं, but there are many activities that we use water in doing. So do you have an idea about the quantity of water we use in a single day? एक single day में एक इंसान कितना quantity use करता है? If हमारी family के लिए अगर पूरी quantity use होती है, 100 liters of water, 200 liters of water used every day. So for a whole month, for a whole year, how much water would we use? And we are going to divide that water by a day. So how much water do we use? There is an activity you will given here. List all the activities for which you use water in a day. Some activities are listed in table, that is drinking, brushing, bathing, washing utensils, washing clothes, toilets, cleaning floor, any other. To make a similar table in your notebook, throughout the day, measure the amount of water used for each activity by you and other family members are there. You may use a mug, a glass, a bucket or any other container to measure the amount of water which is being used. So for drinking, how much water we use for a single person? The amount of water do you use in 5 liters, 6 liters for a day? For cooking, 2 liters, 3 liters, for washing utensils, bathing. So we are going to measure the amount of water, how much we use. You have now a rough idea as how much water your family uses in a day. Can you estimate the amount of water used by you for personal cleanliness in a day? Using this information, calculate the amount of water needed by a family in a year. अगर ये एक दिन में अगर हम 100 लीटर यूज करते हैं और हमारी पूरी फैमिली 100 लीटर यूज करती है, so for a day 365 days are there for in a year. So how much water we are consuming? So 365 multiplied by 100, so that gives you approximately 36,500 liters of water. Our only single family is using it for its personal use. So in the same way, this water is being used in the industrial way, in agriculture, in everything for our day-to-day life. So this water is being used for. So how much water we are consuming? It is such a large amount of water. So if we are using such a large amount of water, we need the source of water. So from where it comes. So that is we are going to calculate over here. So using this information, calculate the amount of water needed by your family in a year. Now divide this amount by the number of members of your family. So this will give you an idea of the amount of water needed by one member of your family in a year. And find the number of people that live in your village or a town. So there is a lot of people, the population is very great. So if one family is utilizing 100 liters of water in a village or in a town, there are hundreds and thousands of families are there. So how much water they are going to utilize it. You will now get an idea of the amount of water needed by a village or town in a year. So you have listed the number of activities for which we use water. Do you think our water requirement is limited to activities like this? Is there any, for these activities water is limited? We use wheat, rice, pulses, vegetables and many other food items every day. We use so many items. And from where this item comes from, they are going to be irrigation. So they are being farmed. This crops needs water. So agriculture also needs water. So the food which we are eating, they also use water. And then we are in personal use. For that also we are going to use water. So such a large amount and such a large quantity of water is being used over there. So we know that some of the fibers that we use for making fabric come from plants. Is water not needed to grow these? So can you think of some more uses of water? The water is used in industries for producing almost all the things we are using it. Like plastic or anything we are using it. So that industry, that factory also needs water. So water is very essential needs for each and every living organism. Without water, not a single living organism will live in this world. So we need water not only for daily activities but also for producing many things. So from where do we get water from? अब ये होता है कि इतना amount of water we are using it. So from where water is coming in from to us? So where do we get the water that we use? Some of you may say we draw water from a river, spring, pond, well or a hand pump. भाई हम यहाँ से river से pond से पानी आता है, hand pump लेते हैं, borewell करते हैं, वहाँ से we are using it. But from where they are going to use? So some others may say we get water from tap. कुछ लोग ऐसा ही बोलेंगे भाई हम नल खोलते हैं और पानी आ जाता है. No, that is not the case. From water that source is coming from where? So have you ever wondered where water in the taps comes from? Water that we get from taps also drawn from a lake or a river or a well. It is then supplied through a network of pipe. एक पूरी main टांकी होती है, टैंक होती है, the supplier tank in a village or everything. जैसे हम गांव में देखते हैं या नगर पालिका म्युनिसिपैलिटी में देखते हैं कि सिटी पे वहाँ पर एक टैंक होता है. वो टैंक से पूरी सिटी के अंदर पाइपलाइन पूरी बिछी हुई रहती है. So there is a whole network of pipelines behind. Beneath the earth. तो ग्राउंड के अंदर जो पाइपलाइन बिछी हुई है that supplies water to each and every house of a city. So each of us may be getting water into our homes in different ways, but finally all of us get water from the same sources, such as हम कहीं से भी ले रहे हैं, but the main same sources are there, which are there ponds, lakes, and rivers and wells. So we have discussed some of the sources of water. अब ये sources of water we have discussed. So where does the water come from to fill these ponds, lakes, rivers and wells? अब ये ponds and rivers, lakes and wells है, उसमें पानी कहाँ से आता है? That we have to understand. So do you know that about 2/3 of the earth is covered with water? Now, the earth is covered with 2/3 of water. Only 1/4 part is there, which we human beings are utilizing it, and then we are using it for agriculture and for our day-to-day life also. So 2/3 of earth is filled with water, and that water is saline, salty. So most of this water is in the ocean and seas. The water in the oceans and seas है many salts dissolved in it. वो salty है, बहुत सारे salt they have been dissolved in this oceans and seas. The water is saline, so it is not fit for drinking and other domestic, agriculture and industrial need. अब यही अगर salty पानी लेंगे हम तो agriculture के अंदर we can't use it for agriculture. Agriculture के अंदर भी हमारे को clean and fresh water we also need. So you might have heard the famous lines of the poem Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, written by Std-6 in 1798. Water, water everywhere, not any drop of the rain. इस sailor एक famous quote था कि एक sailor ship के अंदर चलते हैं, वो sailor sea के अंदर या ocean के अंदर घूमते रहता है. So there is water everywhere, but that water is not being utilized for our use. एक single drop भी हम पानी नहीं पी सकते, because that water is very much salty. So here the poet has described the plight of sailors on a ship lost in the ocean. Yet oceans play an important role in supplying the water that we use. Do you find this surprising? After all, the water that we use is not salty. So many of us live in places far away from the oceans. अभी ocean supply पूरी जगह होता है, but it is not surprising. कुछ लोग जो है वो इतनी दूर भी रहते हैं. Does the water supply in these places also depend on the oceans? How does the ocean water reach ponds, lakes, rivers and wells which supply us water? Here comes the water from these sources, it's not saline anymore. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि ये sources से जो आ रहा है और जो source हमारे वहाँ जमा हो रहा है तो वो salty नहीं होता है. तो here comes the fact over here. So that is where the water cycle comes in. यहाँ पर the water cycle comes in, that the cycle of water which rotates around us, तो इसके लिए जरूरी है. So in that we are going to study in the second part. So in the first part we have studied how much water we are consuming it and from where these sources of water are there. Okay students, thank you.